Hello everyone, welcome back and welcome to viewers to some more Trailmakers. Today we're going to build an awesome airplane, and whether you're a newbie or a seasoned builder, I've got you covered today. So we're going to be doing some step-by-step work on this, and yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get started so this thing can start flying. Alright, so first things first, we're going to need some sort of foundation to work off of, so we're just going to start with some basic blocks here. Obviously we're going to need a cockpit. I think this is probably going to be the best cockpit for us. It's the most airplane-like, I feel like. There are some other ones, but I feel like this is going to be the best one for us today. So let's go ahead and let's build this out a little bit. We don't want this thing to be super heavy, so I think we'll use this long truss block here, which could give us a little bit of help on weight here. We'll just slap that towards the back there. I don't like how boxy a lot of this is, so we can come in here and maybe do some aerodynamic work already. Let's say, where are those pieces? Let's use our 4x1s just for now, and can we do something like this? Oops, there we go. I think that works pretty good. Weight's still pretty much in the center here. Actually, I might move this forward a little bit. Let's come in here and let's grab a 2x2x2. Then it's out a little bit, bringing that weight just a little bit forward. I think that works pretty good. Go ahead and we'll start shaping this out a little bit, I think. Making the cockpit look a little bit bigger. And grab some of these, bring these down as well, because if you sit in this seat, your little booty will hang out the bottom here. So it's nice to kind of cover this up here. So we can do that. Maybe we'll go forward more with this, something like that. Means all this can go forward some. Actually, we can get rid of this. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and grab some blocks here. Grab some blocks here. And then come into the pipe section. We can grab this cone. Now we've got kind of a nose section here. I like that. That works pretty good. Let's move these forward. Maybe even duplicate these here. I think that works pretty good. We'll go ahead and duplicate this. Move that up. And this is going to give us a nice little section for our wings to sit on. Don't like that. Don't like that. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of this and this. Now we'll grab our 1x4s and we can plop those right in there, and I think that looks a lot better. So next we're going to want to put something back here on the backside for our tail to hang on to. I think we'll just do a like a 1x4 that way, and then we can take these wedges as well. Come on, take those, duplicate those to the back, and honestly I think we needed them right there too. Do that, and we'll copy that to there. That looks pretty good, I think. Honestly, maybe even we'll grab a hold of this right here. Now we've got a pretty decent fuselage for our plane here. All right, so next up we're going to add some wings here. So let's come down into our lift and drag section. We're going to start out with our wing flaps. Go ahead and put one there and one there. I'm going to get these forces out of the way just for the sake of building right now. We'll come back and check those in a minute. But we got our flaps. This will allow us to slow down and do some landing and takeoffs. Come in here with a modular wing. Do a section like that. And then, nope, wrong aileron. We want the big ailerons. Do like that. We do like that. And there we go. We're already set up. Check this out. We're doing pretty good here. All right. So luckily for us, we've got an elevator tail that comes with Trailmakers here. And so we'll take that. We'll slide that over into place. That looks pretty nice there. Come back into our blocks. Grab one like that. Back to lift and drag, and guys, we're almost done here. There we go. We've got the starts of an airplane. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. Let's take this and we'll put a little wedge here. I think that'll make this little end look quite nice. Where is the wedge? There we go. There we go. We're airplaning. We are doing pretty good, but we've got no power. We've got no way to move this thing around. Double check my forces here. It's probably gonna say, yep, we've got airplanes with center of drag far behind the center of mass. So if we start putting some airplane props and engines up here, this might start shifting around. So let's go over and let's start adding our engines. So under propulsion, we've got a couple options here. These aren't going to work for you at all. These only work with wheels. So we've got a propeller, we've got the large propeller, and then we've got a bunch of space stuff, and we've got a large jet engine, rocket engine, and then some water stuff. We've got gimbal jet and tail propeller. I think today, just for a classic airplane, let's go ahead and use the large propeller. So we can get rid of that cone there, and we can add that prop to the front of that. And that's already moved our mast forward a little bit. Now, what happens if we move these back. Does that help our situation out? No, that makes it worse. So we need to go more forward. See how we move forward, that it changes our forces here? So with that knowledge, what we can do is we'll leave that there. Come in here and we'll get rid of these. And this is how you assess problems with your builds. You just kind of build what looks right, and then go in and use the diagrams to help you out get to where you need to be. All right, so there we go with that. And then this is nice because we'll be able to bring all this forward. All that. That brings it off of that a little bit, which I think is nice. Actually, we'll get rid of this, that, and maybe we'll do a 2x1 here. I think that'll look a lot nicer. Whoops. We good. So far, so good. And yeah, no error messages here, so we are actually golden here. Let's check our surfaces. We got pitch works. We got roll. Okay, let's line up on our runway and go ahead and give us our first test flight here. Powering up. Ooh, okay. All right, we're in the air. So far, so good. Not bad. It's got a little bit of pitch up, which is fine. We'll address that in a little bit. Even though all our settings were showing right, there is still a little bit that forces us to go up. This probably has something to do with these little wedges underneath the nose here, but I would rather pitch up than pitch down. So, this is awesome. I love this little guy. Oop, nice little quick little turn there. Let's bring it back down to the runway and let's work on it some more. All right, coming in for a landing, and ooh, it's got a lot of lift. It has a lot of lift. Using that truss piece reduces a lot of the weight. Oh, we don't have yaw. Oh, but we landed it. Oh, no. Oh, okay. That was close. Well, we did pretty good. All right, so with that, now start making this look a little nicer, shall we? Let's get rid of our force inputs. We can come in here and we can just start adding some more wedges here. So this will round our cockpit off a little bit here, like that. That rounds it off there. We'll copy this piece down below and across. There we go. So far, so good. I'd really love some pieces in here to kind of fix this little corner here. And I think actually we are getting something like that. I think that was leaked today in the dev diary. I do believe there is a 2x2 wedge, and it has a little corner piece on it. So that's something that might be coming to Trailmakers pretty soon. I'm pretty excited about that. I do know there's a new cockpit that's coming as well, and 4 new weapons. I think also I saw in the dev diary. So a lot coming for 2.0. Super excited about that. But let's get back into building this. We need to fix our yaw. So I'm just going to delete this. We're going to come in here and we're going to come under mechanics. Since we don't have a tail rudder that is a 2x that has control surfaces on it, otherwise we'd have to come in and use something like this guy, which is way too big to be able to use and have yaw controls. Even though I think this is more of a roll surface, an aileron, but it could be used as our pitch roll surfaces here. But we need something like this. I would love to see a part that is this build here, but has this little part is controllable. That would be super nice. But since we don't have that, again, we're gonna be down here. We're gonna be using a gyro. So for this, I'm gonna use left and right on the arrow keys, just because I have other things planned for Q&E. So we'll do that. Let's come in here and we're gonna fill in these little blocks just to make that nice and neat. There we go. So now this should give us a little bit of control here. We'll crank this up to 2 just for a little bit of power in there. And now we should have all of our, let's see. Yep. Okay. That might actually be too much. Let's see what happens when we get in the air. Come on, let's go. All right. So far, so good. And actually that might be a little bit too much. We'll probably take that back down to 1, but I think we're pretty good here. That gives us a little bit of yaw control, which is nice. All right, cool. Let's keep going. All right. So from here, we got a plane. It works. But we want to make it look nicer. We want to do some more things to it. So what we can do is come in here. We can actually add some steering hinges. And we'll just plop down, say like 2 like that. And we'll just bring them to the other side. Copy them over. We can come into logic. And there's a couple ways we can do this. We could use a distance sensor. We could use, I think, a NOR gate as well. Let's try a NOR gate this time. So we'll just plop this down on top, and then this, we should be able to just click these guys here. And when we spawn it in, yep, you can see we've got some angle on these hinges here, but not like we wanted. So this side was doing okay. What we'll do is we'll grab these, we'll rotate. I think, did I do that right? I did that right. Let's see, let's go back and spawn it in. This is where we're gonna be testing quite a bit here to figure these out. Okay, so they both go down like I would like, but they go down too much. So we're gonna come in here and we're gonna adjust this. Let's change this angle to say 10, because we only want it to go down a little bit. Let's delete this little block here, and we can shove that logic in quick. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and paint this guy orange just for right now while we're building this, so we know where that logic block is at. So now when we spawn this in, we've got a little bit of camber down on those wings, which looks really good now. We're starting to build a more 1940s, 50s style airplane, rather than this straight-winged, almost biplane World War I style. So let's do that. We've done that. We could come out here and we do the same thing on the tips here. We're gonna take those hinges right there, we'll copy them, and we'll take this hinge right here and we'll copy it and spawn it in, and there we go. It already it's mirrored it in for us. Now I did notice that A and D is on these hinges, so if we were to start using A and D, you see it starts to change the shape of this. That's fine. What we can do is come in here and we'll just double click all of these and remove A and D from our inputs. So there we go. Now we've got a really nice shape for our wings. I do dig that a lot. That looks really nice, and I think we're coming along here really good. Okay, so now let's get back on the build here. All right, so now let's see how this flies. Good, man, that pitch forward is crazy. Come on, get going, get going. No, are we just dragging that bad into the ground? Yep, and we're not using gyros, so we don't have the pitch control there. Okay, so we're gonna have to alleviate this problem here. So what we can do, we're gonna come in here, we're gonna delete, let's go mirror mode, and let's hope this works. We're gonna delete that, remove this out, we'll move this one down that way, and then move that one back. Okay, so here we are now. Now we've got a little bit less camber on those wings and a lot more flat surface on the edges. This works good. Now that we've removed one of those, we should have a connection point in here. So let's grab a wedge, and I think a 3x1 will fit in here. Now the problem is it does connect to both sides, but I think Trailmakers is going to choose one, and it's choosing the outside, which is exactly what we want it to do. So that's perfect. What we'll do now is come in here and we're going to select a tire. I like the motorcycle wheels for this style of plane. It gives us the best look. We can do something like that. That could sit right there. We'll probably have to come down one with it and then over. Maybe like that. Let's try that. Go back into wedges. We can do just a 2x1, I think. Where did that go? We lost it. There it is. There we go. That is pretty simple landing gear. Now we are going to get a little bit of resistance here on our wheels with aerodynamics, but that's fine. We should be okay. That gets us off the that gets our nose off the ground. Oh, but see what it's done? It's cambered those wheels in. Let's just take a test flight. Let's see if this actually gets us off the ground. All right, perfect. You know, it's not bad. Not bad. Let's see if we can tweak that to get those wheels to go straight. If not, we're just stuck with a little bit of camber on them, which is probably going to be okay. Let's come in for a landing. Oh, that was terrible. We're already not lined up. We've got our flaps on. We have yaw now, which helps line us up for this runway. But as you can see, we don't have engine power. We're having to cut our engine straight every single time. Now, if you're on controller, this isn't that big of a deal, but for us PC players, this is a little bit more of a nuisance because we're literally just holding spacebar or letting go of spacebar. When you have controller, you have that trigger ability where you can kind of hold halfway. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of mimic that with some logic here. So we're going to get this out of the way. Let's come in here and we're going to grab an accumulator. If I can find it. We're going to take this accumulator. We're going to spin this around. We're going to set this right here. And we're going to take this accumulator and we are going to hook it up to the props. Now what we're going to want to do is come into the accumulator and we're going to give this our controls. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use up and down arrow keys on our keyboard because this is going to be incremental adjustments with this now. We no longer are holding space. We're going to be able to go up and down with a realistic throttle. So our minimum is going to be 0. We don't need to go any further down. Maximum is going to be 1 because that's the max of the prop. And we're going to adjust this down to 0.05. This is going to give us 20 clicks of the throttle to be able to adjust those speeds. And then we're going to click step so that it actually goes incrementally in steps. Now, when we spawn this in, we still have the ability to just yeet force with the spacebar, but we also have the ability to incrementally speed this thing up. So now you see we have the props turning slowly. We can slowly build up power, more power, more power, more power. You can see the tail was starting to lift up a little bit. It wants to move forward. There we go. We're gonna get a little bit more, and we're starting to taxi. All right, we're just at about like 50% throttle. We've got flaps down, and we are in the air. That was probably one of the smoothest takeoffs I've ever done in this game. Okay, flaps up. So yeah, this is really nice. I like this. And of course, we can crank it to get full power, and we can bring it down if we don't really want to use all that, which is really nice, especially for coming in and doing landies. This really does help the our ability to just kind of just slowly get in here. Look, we can get really accurate with this. Let's see if we can do a Red Bull landing here. Come on. And we do it. And we do it. And we do it. Little stole here, and boom, look at that. Oh, that was really nice. Probably the best landing I've done in Trailmakers. Okay, so that works. Let's go ahead and let's take this one step further. We're gonna grab ourselves another accumulator, and we're gonna plop that down right there. And we're gonna do all the same settings that we did before. So we're gonna do 0, 1. This one we'll probably do, we'll do 0.05. That worked pretty good on the engine. And this one I'm gonna do Z and X for these, just because I'm not using those and they're like right there below my fingers. Then we're gonna click on the accumulator, and then we're gonna click on our tail section here. So what we've just done now is essentially we've created trim, which is not working because I need to make sure that we have the ability to go both ways here. So we need a -1 on that. There we go. So now you can see with just the clicks of Z and X, I'm able to change my elevator, and it holds position wherever it is. So we've got a manual trim now for our airplane. Now, once we take off, if we end up having pitch down problems, see, we've got a little bit of pitch down problems. So I'm having to kind of keep throttling S here to kind of keep me in the air. So once we get kind of level flight here, we'll start adjusting this, and you guys can see this in action here. All right, we have level flight here. You can see we're starting to go down. So I'm gonna start tapping Z, and you can see it's starting to level us off. So now we've found, we can kind of tweak it a little bit until you find that sweet spot where you are level. And then at that point, you've got a level flying airplane, which is really nice. So yeah, there we go. There's a couple little tips here for making a actual throttle control for your airplane and realistic trim. And of course, you can see that we got the accumulators there giving us our positions for those, which is really nice. So I'm happy with this. I want to spend a few more minutes decorating this and making this nicer. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll be back with you in just a few minutes. All right, with a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, we've thrown some paint and some graphics at this thing, and I think it looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and give it another test flight. All right, so flaps down. Let's give it a little bit of throttle, incrementals here, just enough to get us moving and taxiing down the runway here. And we're off. Here we go. And give it a little bit more power to get down the runway and start giving it some, my brain quit working there. Give it some pitch. There we go. Yeah. Wow. Okay, we're in the air. And we are flying with incremental controls here. Now, I did add smoke, so if we are using spacebar and using that, I guess, wartime power, you'd see that you're overworking your engine and holding, as hard as you can go. But if you let go, we're back to our throttle controls. Yeah, that's it for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you have learned something. I hope you understand a little bit more about throttles and trim. I hope this video helps you out with your future builds. And yeah, if you've enjoyed this, make sure you throw a like on this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and we will see you guys in future videos.